All right, let's take a look. So we got one of the Detroit Lions writers notice some differences between Jared and Matthew, and for just full disclosure, I don't I don't have anything against Jared Goff. I really don't. He seems like an okay guy. Um, he is certain aspects of his game are good. Um, I just got to be honest. Me personally, I got a little tired of of some of the deficiencies that I saw from him on a week to week basis, and I'm going to get to into that a little in here just here in a little bit. But I don't have I don't have anything against him though. I would like to see him succeed in Detroit. I I just I think that'd be cool. If he could, it's except when they play us, obviously. But I hope he does good. But there was just too many things that I could not stand looking at anymore. With there was just no improvement, and I'll get into that in a second. Let's get into this really quick though. So there has already been talk this week about that new Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff isn't exactly throwing deep in training camp so far. Goff has dusted that noise off by saying that he can only take what the defense gives him. It's true. That's true. And I'll rush to his defense to say that a few practices does not make a full report, but it's not a new song being sung. That is that's the thing about Jared is really he doesn't like to go deep that often. Or it just seems like I don't know if it's a common if it's either he is maybe not quick enough mentally to read the defense to decide where to throw deep before the D linemen catch up to him, or if he just his arm strength isn't enough for him to consistently do it, or if the line was breaking down, or maybe a combination of all those. But he just doesn't throw deep a lot. He really didn't go deep in his, at least in the last couple of years that I saw personally. I didn't see him. He's pretty decent if you give him a lot of protection, kind of in the middle area. But this is just my opinion. I'm just let y'all know I'm not like some pro analyst or anything. I'm not like a expert or I don't watch all the film. I'm just a random guy on YouTube who loves his team, who watches his team a lot, and think has some sort of basic knowledge at least about football and the Rams. And in my opinion, Jared just didn't like to go deep, didn't like to throw the ball deep at all. And it was increasingly frustrating because all defenses would do is stack the box on us every single game. It it they had no fear of Goff throwing the ball over the top on them. But I'll add to that more here in a little bit. Let's continue the article. That's on a macro level, but on a micro level, one Lions writer pointed to a key example of how certain plays that were available to Stafford over the last 12 years did not seem to be available to 2016's first overall pick, going as far as to say there's just a difference in mentality in the two quarterbacks. Just like I was talking about. it seems if Goff maybe lacks the fire to throw deep. And what I mean by that is like the killer instinct uh, to really attack the defense and push them back. I don't I don't really see it in him. I haven't seen that out of Jared. Jared can physically make the throws. I can see every once in a while he can physically throw the ball deep when he has the time in the pocket and everything's doing well, but I don't see the want. I don't see the want to throw deep out of Jared. But that's just my opinion. Let's continue. The Athletic Detroit's Nick Baumgardner, and if I got that name wrong, I apologize, in a joint piece with the national writer Chris Burke, noted on Tuesday that during one routine opportunity for a deep bomb in practice, Goff opted for the much shorter game that was right in front of him, just like I was saying. Stafford throws the ball deep there probably 99 times out of 100. Goff targeted Raymond instead, then threw it behind him a bit so it fell incomplete. There's just a difference in mentality and assuming Goff even has the arm strength to hit a receiver in stride 50 plus yards deep while going against the grain. So, like this right here, hold on. Goff targeting the shorter gain. This is like this right here is what I saw. I would say like 60-70% of the game from him. He would just he never he would like it seemed like he would not even he would already give up on going deep. It just seemed like, I don't want to sound like I'm putting words in his mouth or like trying to act like I knew what he was thinking in real time. It's just what my personal observations were. And it just seemed like he immediately like dismissed going deep. And this in just going for the check down because that was like the easy. It's like he couldn't process his reads, like the first read, the second read, the third read, what the defense is doing, and which way to go. It's almost like he would go, "Ooh, I'm just going to go with the check down," like I do in Madden sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, I do that in Madden a lot myself. So, it's hard. It's hard to learn those plays. I don't think I could do it, but I mean, you're being paid the money. We paid you a lot of money. We would like you to go deep, please, every now and again. Push the defense back, please. Please. Please help Cam Akers. Help Todd Gurley when he was here. Help our running backs. And like here it says throw it behind him a bit so it felt incomplete. Goff you can generally gauge what he kind of game he's gonna have like in the first drive. If he like throws a duck and it's like incomplete 3 times in a row, like you're in for a long day because he just won't have it, and he'll just throw ducks and that are either short, behind a receiver, or just not accurate, like basic stuff you would think a professional quarterback would know or tighten up a little bit over like I don't even know what is it like his 5th, 6th year. I don't know exactly, but little basic mechanics like that, you would think you would tighten that up a little because if you listen to my Matthew Stafford hype video, one of the reasons why I was so hyped was just how pretty how beautiful the balls looked, like his throws, like how the ball looked in the air once he released it. You're not going to see that 100% from Goff. Like Goff throws a lot of ducks. I'm sorry, he he can throw a pretty ball, but it's like a toss up. It just depends on where he is, the rush. It's just if he's panicking, he just throw goes falls apart. Putting it lightly, but let's keep going. Some would argue that the difference in mentality is not necessarily that Stafford is right and Goff is wrong. Yeah. Should all great quarterbacks take the deep ball 99 out of 100 times? No, not necessarily. Why 99 and not 100? What happened during that one play where Stafford chose to not throw it deep? If he would do that one time out of 100, could he maybe do it 10 times out of 115? How many of those 100 get intercepted? How many of Goff's short chucks get the job done plenty well enough? And that's true. Hey, if it wins the game, it wins the game. That's what it's all about. Hell, if you can win the game with short passes over the middle, I'll take that every day. I will ride that to a Super Bowl. Like if that's how the Rams win games this year, just short little dump off passes for like 10, 15 yards a clip, I'll take it. If it works, I mean, if it gets us to a Super Bowl and we win it, I'll take it. But if that's all you can do, defenses are going to adjust. So you need to be able to push them back. You can't have them be the aggressors. You can't have them like crowding you. You can't have them crowding the line of scrimmage, because that already they have the advantage because they're just gonna pounce on you. Like jungle cats. They'll just pounce on you. You want to push them back so that they're not so close to the line. You want them to have that fear that you're gonna throw it over the top and go for the jugular with like a 60-yard bomb. They need to know you can do that to them. So it's something that I am very pleased to see that Matthew Stafford is showing, and I'm behind the eight ball. I'll admit, I knew of Matthew Stafford, but I knew of him. I didn't really watch. I just didn't watch a lot of his games. I just didn't. But I am very pleased to see that he is very much someone who I feel will attack downfield. And before I start mixing my my talking points there, going into a tangent, let's continue. Those are just some classic 2,000-year-old riddle puzzles, but in the case of the upcoming NFL season, it also means that the inverse should be true. Pardon me. If Goff has been taking that 10 yards over the deep bomb in the last 2 years, how much different is it going to be for the Rams now that the guy who gives it 100% of his elbow mustard 99% of the time? I can't wait to see this vast difference in a real game. So, this is the writers for the Detroit Lions observation on Jared Goff and his performance in training camp as of right now, and comparing to past years where Matthew Stafford was there. I will say this for Jared Goff, I will say the quarterback you're gonna get. You have a decent to good quarterback, in my opinion. For all the Lions fans out there, you have like I said, a decent to good quarterback that can play great. play great sometimes. Sometimes. It and he Jared can if he the biggest problem with Jared is his consistent one of well no, but one of his biggest problems is inconsistency. Like you will have a game where last year okay, so what the Super Bowl champs, Tampa Bay Bucks, right? We played them last year on Monday Night Football. I think it was Monday Night Football and beat them. And the big reason why we beat them was Jared Goff. Jared Goff essentially won that game for us because, from what I can remember, like we could not run the ball to save our lives, dude. Like, I think Cam Akers was playing in that game, and dude, Levante David and them linebackers just completely shut us down. I don't even think we had like a run that was like a 20-yard run that entire game. They kept smacking us at the line of scrimmage and like backing us up. It was so irritating because I'm a big proponent of running the football and being physical, and the Bucks were just whooping our asses that night at that. But Jared played a phenomenal game. He picked the Bucks apart, man. He had a really good game that night. And he's a big reason why we even won that game. I was very I think it was last I want to say it was last year, I think. I do believe it was last year, but it was definitely a really good performance. So he'll have performances like that where he like basically wins the game for you. But then you'll have a situation where like the very next week he'll have a game like he did against Miami where he just cannot do anything right. Where it just looks like the first drive he throws a duck that's like behind the receiver, or he underthrows a guy, or if one of the D linemen breaks the line just for a millisecond, just breaks it a little bit, it just seems like sometimes he just completely shuts down. Just completely shuts down and doesn't want to extend the play, doesn't want to fight for the play. He just wants to. He's like, oh my, okay, all right. Let's move on to the next play. You got me. Let's move on to the next play. And Jared, I'm sorry, man. I'm not. If you're listening to this, I'm really not trying to rag on you. I'm really not. It's just as a diehard fan of the team, I just wished you just. I would like to see someone who is getting paid as much as you were getting paid to show a little more fight to keep the play alive. You know, and it's not like you never did that. There were times where you did fight to keep the play alive. You just never did it consistently. And if you provide him with a good line, if you provide him with a strong running game, if you have a coach, you need to get a good offensive coach to help him. Maybe, make the plays a little more simple to call or read. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the coaching stuff. I'm just a guy on YouTube, but he needs to have a good line. He needs to have a good running game. If everything is working for him, he's gonna win you some games. He'll definitely win you some. Detroit, he's gonna win you some games this year, I promise you. But if you get him a good line, a good running game, good coach, good play calls for him, I'd say he's probably the best. Over the middle for like a mid throw, kind of like a 10 like 15 20-yard throw, I want to say, give or take. I'd have to think about that a little more. I'm kind of just throwing that out there. I really did, but if you can do that, he'll be all right. But if there's pressure, his game will drop significantly. Like he will like you'll tell. You guys will be able to tell like his good games like he had from winning the game with a tight spiral against Tampa Bay to like the Miami game where he's throwing ducks and just can't seem to connect on a throw. You will see it. And it's if you provide him, the good line and run game, um, you have more of a chance to win with him. But hey, what the hell do I know? Maybe this whole offseason trade and debacle has motivated Jared, and Jared wants to prove the Rams wrong, wants to prove something to McVay, to Rams, to the fans like myself who are, kind of a bit kind of critical of him. Maybe he wants to come in and show that hey, you got rid of the wrong guy here, and maybe he can have a good season. He has to physically he can do it. I've seen him do it. I've seen him physically make the throws and physically win games. It's the consistency and it's the want to be better, the want to be great. And it's something I just have not seen from him in the past, but who knows? Maybe he can bring it in the future for Detroit. I wish him all the luck in the world. I do not hate you. I do not hate you, Jared. If you listen to this, I don't. I don't think you're terrible. I think you're a good, decent quarterback. But we just, if you want a champion, we just needed more out of our franchise quarterback that we paid so much money for, and we had so much high expectations for. Because LA wants to win a Super Bowl, and you just need to provide a little bit more if you want to reach those goals, Jared. But that's just my opinion. I've rambled on long enough. I'm gonna cut it off here and get ready for that Cowboy scrimmage. See how they're gonna do.